Welcome to the Marble Sports Worldwide Podcast, where we discuss and analyze your favorite marble sports. From JMR Marble League to Algodu tournaments, we'll make sure you never miss the action. All marble sports, all the time, right here on the MSW Podcast.
Hello, Marble sports fans, and welcome to the Marble Sports Worldwide Podcast. My name is Brendan.
And I'm Commander Wof.
Thanks for keeping with the cadence there. And we
No
got
problem,
a
Brendan.
show for you today, abso-freaking-lutely. A lot of drama, and this drama happened a couple weeks ago. I know there's going to be people there who's like, well, the Marble Mania thing was blah, 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 blah. And I was like, I get it. But we had other things to discuss those weeks.
Right.
But now, with a break in the Marble Sports action from JMR, we have to address this topic. And so this will be a weighty episode with a lot of opinions thrown around and a lot of ideas thrown around. But I ask that you bear with us and provide your opinions. You can email us, mswpodcast@gmail.com. I would love to hear your opinions, especially on this whole situation, because it is extremely important in the context of the JMR community. And, I'd love if you just considered all the possible angles when discussing this drama and, come to your own conclusion after hearing all the facts that we have to give out to you today. So, and opinions as well. We'll throw those out there. So with that being
Definitely.
said, I don't want to spend too much time in the intro. So if Wof doesn't have anything extremely important to say, I might just throw it right over to the news.
I guess the only thing I have is if you have heard that there's a YouTube channel called The Longest Johns, they do a bunch of sea shanties, and they recently did a big old kind of community video where they got a bunch of fans to submit them singing Leave Her Johnny, and they're doing another one for the Wellerman, which you probably heard on YouTube a lot. It's like, soon may the Wellerman come. You know that song?
Funny.
And so that I sent in a submission to do that actually, so more likely you'll see me in a big old collaboration video once that happens, so keep an eye out for that.
Well, that would be great, Wof. Wof putting himself out there. He's going to be famous one day. So that would be awesome, I guess. I don't know. I don't know what to say to that besides awesome, Wof. But yeah, we look forward to seeing you in that said video. But now that we have that out there, I think Johnny Marble is going to want to give you the news for this week as we move forward towards the news. And you know what? We'll see you on the other side of that, and we're going to have a lot to say about Marble Mania, plus a guest today, a very special guest in my life. So see you on the other side. Let's get to the news.
Hello, Marble Sports fans! I am Johnny Marble, and as always, I'm coming to you for MSW. Guys, girls, I just gotta tell you, you're nobody until somebody loves you. And that somebody, well, that somebody is me. I love you. So from all of us here at MSW, we wish you a happy Valentine's Day.
We are back from the news, everybody. Thank you, Johnny Marble, for another exciting news segment. And also, thank you to Mr. Wof, who has adjusted the quality visually of the news for this time and the times going forward. And I hope you enjoyed the new look to the news. Wof, if you want to talk about that a little bit, go ahead.
Yeah, so at one point, so someone named Baron, they wanted to try to offer kind of help with the news, but I kind of really had a style I went for, but I did take some inspiration from some of the ideas that they presented, I basically added several. I made several new assets just from scratch.
Awesome.
like that kind of like fit the color scheme and stuff, and as well as like the like, more cartoonish minimalist design of the show. So like there's not a more like a bottom banner thing that has like news scrolling across the bottom, so for like other smaller Marble channels. So like for the channels that I can't really I don't have the time to just write news for everybody, I can at least put a small little blurb for some of our smaller channels to help get them some extra attention. Like a cool title name for the news going on in the top left corner. It's like there's just a whole lot more to it that actually makes it feel like a news channel. It's been a while since I've updated it, but like, and it's gonna take me a good longer time to actually make it every week. But I love it. It's a lot of fun for me. I enjoy it, and I think you guys will too. So definitely check those out on YouTube. They have their own separate uploads if you don't want to watch the episodes again. So yeah, go do that.
Yep, please do. And now to introduce. I couldn't say any of that. I didn't say any of that right. To introduce, and I didn't even say introduce correctly. So let's redo that. We're not even going to edit this out. We're not. So to introduce our guest for today, there we go, James.
Hello.
Who actually lives near me and edits my YouTube videos for my other channel, GD Marble. Go check it out. Go drop a sub. I do Geometry Dash content on that channel. I hope you have the opportunity to check it out. He edits and does an amazing job for me, but he's also gotten into Marble Sports, and he's here today to discuss an extremely important drama in the world of Marble Sports. But as you guys know, we introduce our guests in a very special way. We ask every first-time guest one very simple question, and I know me and Wof are going to try to say it in sync right now and not say it in sync, but let's give it a shot.
It's not going to happen.
Anyway, so Wof, me, right now, 3, 2, 1. How did you get into Marble
Sports?
All right, it's not happening. But anyway, go ahead, James. Say hello and tell us your answer.
Hi. All right, that was weird. Hi, I'm James, Toadie-Wan. I go subscribe to GD Marble, just saying. It's totally not biased because I edit all of his videos. So yeah, I really got into Marble Sports because of Brendan. We go to the same church, and he just came in with like this sweatshirt that said Marble Olympics, and I was like, what is that? And he was like, oh, Brendan immediately saw an opportunity to talk about his favorite subject, and he just went off on it. He was like, oh yeah, it's Marble Sports, you should go check it out. It's JMR, it's super cool. And I was like, okay. Huh. And he was like, hey, you should come check out my YouTube channel, we do stuff about that too. And I saw it and I was like, this is awesome. And I was like, wait a minute, I've seen videos like this before, a long time ago on YouTube. And I looked them up, and they had a name. You guys know this. It's called Algadoo. So I was like, I already like Marble stuff. This is great. And now I love Marble Sports. My favorite team is the Rangers, without a doubt.
Oh,
I love the color orange.
Fan. Oh,
No. Brendan, it's literally just because I like the color orange.
I know.
And it's
fine.
No, I just out of nowhere, I was like, okay,
cast.
I'll do that. Great. Yeah. I still have yet to get in a Rangers baseball cap because I love baseball caps, and I feel like that would be something I need.
You should totally get in a Rangers baseball cap. That would be extreme support for the team.
Yeah.
Definitely.
And that's about it. Besides sharing like my social security number, which I don't even know, so we're just gonna move on from that.
That's enough information. But yes, I do actually remember the day that I shared Marble Sports with James. I actually remember the jacket he's talking about, which unfortunately I lost or was stolen from me because I like I said, I think I've told the story before. I was going out for tennis practice last year, right before the COVID started. By the way, it was like a week before we had to all do online school, and I put the jacket with my bag. And come back from practice, it was just not there. I looked everywhere, I like for many days, and I just could not find it. I'm extremely sad because you can't get that jacket anymore, and it's a shame that it's lost. But you know what? It's all right. I got some other Marble Sports merch, and I got the shirt, which is made exactly the same as the jacket, just, of course, the shirt instead of a jacket, the same like graphics on it from the 2019 Marble Olympics still, so it works out okay. But with that being said, a lot to do today. You've met James, you know how he's gotten into Marble Sports, and now we have to talk about how the Dutch TV executives got into Marble Sports. And to give some background on this topic before we all cast opinions, I have this Reddit post up, and unfortunately, it's not a very It is a pretty factual-based Reddit post, but the title doesn't lead it like that. It's titled "How a Multi-Billionaire Stole Ideas from Jel's Marble Runs and Now Makes Millions with Them." That's a very biased title. It makes you think a certain thing as opposed to reading the facts for yourself and thinking, which I don't like. I'm not saying I disagree or agree with the title yet. I'm just telling you what I think about naming something like that. But the basis of it is Jel and Dion were approached by the Dutch TV people. One of them, the top guy's name, what is his name? John de Mol, right? And they offered a deal to put Marble Sports on TV. And the deal was good in the initial state. It was that JMR was going to get to keep their channel, keep all the rights, make money off of being a part of it, and everything was good for JMR and this TV company to put this out there. But then after some time, the guy's like, you know what, scrap that awesome deal. We're going to put another deal out there. And, in this one, you guys don't make any expansion money. You don't get to keep all your rights. And I don't really know all the super details on it. Those are not all out there. But pretty much the second deal was like a complete 180 from the first one. And Jel and Dion were like, no, we're not going to do that. And then basically what happened afterwards is, John de Mol had the bright idea of, they don't own marbles. Marbles weren't invented by them. I'm just going to make my own thing. And they go forward and make their own Marble Sports, of which I can't find a full-length episode because it's hard to just get Dutch TV anywhere online. But we do have some clips and some pictures that we're going to be able to look at today during the show. And pretty much really decide, okay, first of all, what this guy did before he started making the Marble Sports, was that okay? And then second of all, he made this Marble Sports. Is this a problem? Is this copying Jel's Marble Runs? Is this in bad faith? Is this something that he should not be allowed to do and be able to be sued for? Or something that, he maybe wasn't the best guy personality-wise, but you can't really say anything about it. He's going to do what he's going to do. And there's no like real actual problem with what he's doing. But with that background out there, we'll throw out for some first reactions from Wof and James. What do you guys think about this whole thing? Anything that stands out to you that you really want to mention and get out there on the table early?
So I guess for me, I do gotta agree. Like the whole fact that like they just completely did a 180 on the contract. Like it just, for one thing, it just seems so strange why they would do that. Especially since I think like they'd already signed it, but I guess they just decided to scrap and redo it. But like I don't understand why they did that. Like they seem to be in a complete agreement. So I think there's clearly something else that's going on behind the scenes that led to this decision. But clearly it was a very greedy move to do. Like they were clearly inspired by them and stuff like that. So regardless of whether or not they have the legal right to do to make the stuff that they do, like the fact that they did that was still scummy. In regards, I guess, to, like, the whole, like, copying and stealing ideas thing, which we're definitely going to get into, based on, like, all the images I've seen, like, on the one hand, yeah, they did, I can definitely say, like, they definitely took the inspiration from Jel's Marble Runs. That's where they got the ideas for the aesthetic and design of everything, like, with, like, the dirt racing or / sand racing, I think it was, and the race tracks with, like, the red lines, but at the same time, it's, like, a lot of those things, while I'm certain they got those ideas from them, the things that are utilized aren't things that they own either. Like, the tracks with the red lines, like that's something that's been used by real race tracks for decades. It's not something they invented. Snow racing and dirt racing, that's not something I think that Jel's Marble Runs invented either. People have done that before. They don't own dirt or sand. But I think something more. I remember in this post that we're going to be referencing, like they even showed a picture of like, oh look, we have Greg Woods and they have an actual announcer. That's copying. It's like, guys, that they didn't. Like, that one's there's some definitely people who are
there
stretching
are some
it and
stretches that we will cover absolutely because
yeah. But yeah, like I guess, but like I think probably the most egregious one was like they had like a big old funnel that was a black hole, which is clearly a reference to the black hole funnel. Like I mean, I get the idea. Like it's the best prop to use for a black hole, but at the same time, the fact that there was literally a black hole funnel with a giant funnel in Jel's Marble Runs, and now there's an actual literal black hole. Well, not literal, but you get what I mean. Like a black hole.
We're going to talk about that too, because there are some things that we got to dive into the pictures closer, and we will. And I recommend that for this particular episode, if you're out there listening and you're not watching on the YouTube, that maybe for this one, jump over to the YouTube just for a one-time thing, just so when we're talking about certain things and observing the pictures and analyzing them and seeing, are these really copies or is this just forged? That you'll be able to take a look for yourself. I mean, of course, you'll still get this similar experience. Not seeing the YouTube, we'll describe the pictures in as much detail as possible. But again, just giving you that heads up. James, go ahead.
What I found kind of weird is that, and this is kind of a comedic approach to it, but the fact that they chose one of the worst events in Marble League, the Black Hole Funnel, to copy that one. Just feels a bit weird. Like, you had so many options, guys, and you chose the Black Hole Funnel.
I agree. I did not enjoy the Black Hole Funnel.
Was that part of a bigger track, or is it just
seemed
that?
To be. It seemed to be, and that's something we will talk about going into when we dive into each one of these pictures and talk about do these pictures actually represent copying and a problem or not. But yeah, I agree. Black Hole Funnel it's an awful event. I mean, it honestly is terrible. It was so bad. That was like I love everything Joe's Marble runs, but Black Hole Funnel, I mean, that is a terrible, terrible event.
And again, we get the black hole part because it's space and it's Team Galactic and it's WoW. But no. Some of the experience I have with this is seeing commercials for ridiculous reality TV shows that are produced by people like Demol. Like, he's responsible for The Voice and Big Brother, and I've watched The Voice, and I get things about like that. But recently I feel like there are just shows coming out that, like, make no sense. There's, like, Name That Tune, which is, like, turned into a whole full-on, like, giant game show.
That's an old show, by the way. That is an old game show. But they
brought it back again. It's like, I can name that song in one note, and it feels weird.
It feels, like, just ridiculous.
The Masked Singer now has a spin-off called The Masked Dancer. I don't know how that's going to work. That's just weird. Yeah, Wof confused. Just think about that for a second. Let that mull around in your head. The Masked Dancer. Somehow they can tell apart people like that just dancing. Completely ridiculous. So this just feels like that, except the idea was on YouTube. And I know people are like, oh, but the bakers don't own marbles. They can't claim that. He has his rights. He has his rights, but this was not right.
Yep, I agree with both of you in a lot of ways. I think you guys raised some extremely good points. I wanna top this discussion with my opinionated focus on this, and that would be for me is this. We're gonna dive into these pictures and we're gonna decide for each picture whether this is direct copying or not. But the big thing for me is that, number one, the whole contract proposal thing is a problem. The fact that this good contract was proposed, it was agreed upon, and then they just changed it because what that shows is that he's not in it to build a community of Marble sports fans the way Gel is. He's not in it to expand the sport as a whole the way Gel is. He's in it because he wants to make the most money possible from a fad while it lasts. And that bothers me because and makes me want to not support Marble Mania at all, because I don't, even if the content is extremely good, it's the thought process behind it. And in my opinion, personally, it was a very stupid thing for John DeMol to do, because honestly, if you partner with JMR and you go with the first contract, in the long run, you will probably have more success and more happy people than if you go for just the extra money in the short run. Obviously, there's a lot more thought processes that go behind those kind of decisions, but I feel like John just thought like, oh, well, let me think about this a second time. They don't own Marble Sports. I'll just make it and not have them be a part of it. I have enough production people to pull something off that's pretty good. And the principle behind it is not something that I am endorsing. I'm not something I'm on board with.
Yeah, it just felt scummy. Like, I think he had that thought ahead of time, like in the middle of the two contracts. He was like, wait a minute. He probably thought at that one moment, I can do this on my own because they don't own this. And they were like, okay. You guys are not part of this anymore. And that just feels like super, I don't know, mean. Mean just sounds like I'm complaining as like a kid. But yeah. It just,
Yeah, like...
And looking at those pictures on the YouTube, you can see a lot of clear comparisons and like things that they did that were the same. And people have different views on that. It's like, oh, it's sand. How can you change sand? They don't own sand and marbles together. But it just looks very similar.
Right. Wof?
Yeah, I was just saying like he's definitely like a severely money focused businessman. And like someone mentioned how I think he was very much aware of the fact that legally he could do this. Like he could take because the aesthetic of JMR, at least for some of the aesthetic in JMR, is not something that they can copyright because it's taken like the Marble the One track design, stuff like that. Like that's based off of like what actual tracks look like. They don't own, so like legally they can take that as well. Like sand hills, well they don't own sand, they can just take sand. So like he was so focused on the money that he knew what legally he was able to do that he decided to take the more the quote unquote profitable route. Although again, like as you said, long term this is going to hurt him more. Whereas if they had just partnered to begin with, I guarantee first of all the show would probably last longer than was probably going to end up lasting, and they would have more support. So like it's like I can't remember what class I took, but like there was something about I think it's a personal finance class, but like how like business people who like that are focused actually on, like not on money but like on I guess like people and some of that, and like the ideas will naturally I think lead to the money, because if you make something with passion and respect for people, you'll get people who like what you make. Whereas this people I don't live in the Netherlands, so I haven't seen like any of the news and stuff, but apparently people are not very happy with the John de Mol over there. So clearly it's just not worked out for him.
And you can see why they wouldn't be happy about it. But also like the Reddit post talked about like viewership and how like they got a good amount of views in their like population, and that's great. But I don't think this show is going to last very long. I don't. The word fad that Brendan used earlier seems very appropriate here. Because he's treating this like a fad, and I think he understands that this show may not last forever, which I feel like is going to be the same for shows like The Masked Dancer. Again, what are you guys doing over?
Yeah, no, that seems silly. I've seen the commercial for that too. It seems ridiculous.
Yeah, you saw it, and it's like, okay, they brought in dancing judges. I'm getting it away from Marble Sports.
I don't understand
from real
it. It's
person
not
stuff.
Yeah, imagine real people though, right?
Wow. Yeah, this de Mol guy really just went for the route that would get him the most money. And that's just greedy and sad.
Yeah, and so I have the video up here pulled up. This is the first video on the article, and it shows kind of more of an outdoor track they do. And I will say, I have to be honest. I'm not gonna just say all bad things or all good things based on my personal opinion. But this track actually looks pretty good. And honestly, if watching this track, I would not turn around and say they're copying Gels Marble Runs from this particular track. Yeah, of course it has banked sides like if they were like the Sand Marble Rally. But it seems to have like different terrains. And they kind of did what I wish JMR would actually do out there on their thing. And that is add some more features to their Sand Marble Rally. Have more split tracks. Have those little wood bridges that they had. Like I think they did a better job with this than in Sand Marble Rally. And I don't want that to become something that everyone's like, oh my God, Marble Guy, you're awful. How could you possibly say something good about Marble Mania? Because, I get it. I personally think that this guy's actions were bad as well. I think that what he did was not condoned. I wouldn't condone it is what I'm saying. But I'm not going to knock everything I see just because I don't like the one man's actions. And honestly, that track, in my opinion, this track I see in front of me, at least in their outdoor terrain, I guess Sand Marble Rally type track, is not badly made. My biggest problem, of course, is kind of like, if you guys remember the Fubiga drama, which is always a great one, when we go back to that, in the Fubiga drama, Fubiga used a much thinner track than the Marble Drome when he started his marble circuits. And I don't want to debate whether Gel came up with Marbula 1 before Fubica came up with marble circuits, or if it was vice versa, or whatever. That's whatever, and you can think what you want about that. I don't even know what to think about that. But I will say, one of the things Fubica did do that I did not like is that he, when he, halfway through marble circuits, when, of course, he saw Gel's marble runs and their wide marble drum track, he switched his track completely solely to using the same track as they did, and that was a problem. And I urged him, I was like, okay, if you're going to use that track, mix it up. Honestly, it would be more unique and more worth watching if your tracks actually only used some of that wider track and worked in some other features, some other handmade tracks, some other, maybe the thinner track, a couple extra pads. You could do so much more interesting stuff besides just copy JMR. And that's my biggest problem with this Dutch channel. They seemed to, while they might make tracks that actually look good, like the one I just watched here on the YouTube, on the Reddit post, it is very blatantly not taken much past what Gel already does. It's very blatantly not went out of its way to not be much more creative than Gel is. They could have been more creative. All right, they pay people. They pay people whose job it is to be creative because it's a TV show for all of Dutch world, whatever. And they did not do anything more than Gel already did. Yes, I love the fact that the track had more splits and more logs or whatever. Yes, that was cool. But they didn't do anything above and beyond where I'm like, okay, this is substantially different and more thought out, or differently thought out than anything from JMR. So at least based on that first video, yes, I like the track. I'm saying it's good. But I'm not... I can't say that I really enjoy I really can't say that it's much better or much different or much notably more developed than anything that JMR has already done.
Yeah, I definitely agree. Like, I like the aesthetic, like having those extra bushes and stuff to make it look like they're like less bland. It also helps you to remember the track better because like a lot of the problems with the other past tracks, like they're all just the same color and like with maybe a few sticks here and there, so they all kind of blend together. By having like maybe some shrubbery and stuff, that would actually to help to distinguish them. So like, while I definitely agree that it's clearly like, inspired by the San Marble Rally. Like JMR shouldn't miss the opportunity to try and learn from what they do. Although Yella and Dion did say that they're not watching it because for Yella, like it kind of hurts them to watch it. So, and I can understand that, like feeling betrayed. So like, but like, there are definitely some aesthetic choices that like I definitely would say that I hope that that maybe not the exact same, but it's like just aesthetic choices like that are brought to JMR to make them better.
Right.
I'll let you go ahead and go, Toadie.
I just like you brought back something that I thought was better. Like I feel bad for the Tube. Like they seem to have been through a bit, like in the terms of like business world and like how things are going in that. And I feel like I don't know, they didn't deserve the second contract and like what got out of it. The comment that Gel made, I think, was something around like this like hurts mentally or something, and that's like wow, It feels weird. This just feels like this feels like volume 2 of what constitutes a JMR copy over in the archives of the podcast. We're just talking about this again. We did. And it's just The Bakers are going through a lot, and props to them for sticking through all this with their own channel, doing their own things, because they almost had like a huge. Can we imagine for a second what would have happened had the show been theirs, and like, how do you think that would have been with like things been like clips posted on their YouTube channel? Because it did say something in the agreement about, like, control of their YouTube channel slightly over to them, which was interesting.
I think that the partnership would have been a good thing. Actually, the first contract, in my opinion, would have been extremely good for JMR. It would have, and in the long run, it would have been even better for JMR than the short run, because in the long run, what you're doing is you're putting marble sports into the eyes of 1.4 more million people. So if the fad dies out on the Dutch TV land, well, all those fans are now going to flood into the best marble sports on the planet, which is Gel's Marble Runs.
Yes,
and based on, so it's like it would have worked out very well. And honestly, I still think, and I said this to Mel, I still think the fact that the Dutch TV thing is doing this, while I don't love what they're doing, I will say that JMR should not see this as a negative. They do see it as a negative for certain reasons, but in the long run, if I'm Dion and I'm looking long run right now, I would not see this as a total negative. Because what is this doing? Yes, there's a lot of bad blood between the people. This is a negative in that aspect. I'm not saying they shouldn't see that as a negative. A lot of bad decisions from John the Mole. A lot of clear copying. Not everything's copied. We'll go through the pictures, but some of it definitely seems to be ripped directly from gel, just at a different color. Obviously, that stuff's bad. But in the long run, what this Dutch thing is doing is putting marble sports to the eyes of 1.4 million people. And then when this fad ends on the TV and all those people want more marble sports, well, gel is the best out there. That's where they'll go to watch. No one's going over to Fubica instead of gel. No one's doing that. Fubica's back to the country marbles again, and I can't get into that. So, I mean, it's just boring. And so, like, you know, gel is clearly the only marble sports worth watching if the Dutch TV thing ends. And currently, right now, the quality of gel's marble runs are still better than the Dutch TV production. For a lot of little reasons that we'll talk about later. So, I mean, it's not a negative thing in the long run, even though obviously the communication between these people ended in a very negative way, understandably so. So, I would take that into account. But I mean, there's so much going on here, and it's hard to know. This is just what we're told too. This Reddit post is only one post saying what people are telling us happened. We don't know exactly what happened. We don't know exactly what went down. I would give JMR the benefit of the doubt before I would give a TV company, because JMR is more passionate about marble sports specifically than a TV company probably would be. But I'm not going to say that everything I'm telling you is dead fact. That's how it happened. But moving on, I mean, do you guys have anything you want to cash in on that before we actually talk about these pictures?
No, I think I'm good. I think we should go ahead and start moving on.
Yeah, you hit the nail on the head. That was all pretty much perfect.
Thank you, James. I appreciate the compliment, buddy. Okay, here we go. So pictures. We'll roll through these. Wof and James, you got them pulled up too, so you guys can see the comparisons with me.
Yeah,
right?
I'm on the YouTube. Everyone go to the YouTube. Look at this stuff.
Yeah, go to the YouTube. You see the pictures. Or just pull up the one Reddit post on Jill's Marble Runs Reddit, which has all these on them, and you can follow along as well.
These are first very good comparisons, actually.
The first picture is a big problem picture for me, because I have no idea what's actually going on in this picture. Like, I don't know what marble event is going on here. If this so I don't really know what to say. Like this just looks like you take a picture of this. Honestly, this is what I thought of. Okay, it's like taking a picture of a bridge somewhere, and then going and taking a picture of a bridge somewhere else, and oh my God, these are the same. I don't really know what's happening here that I should be observing, honestly.
I think I read something about this. This is the way that they have a finale on their episode. I think what they do is something about 6,000 marbles going down a track at once, and that's the way they end an episode, which sounds a bit extra, but that must be what that is. Oh yeah, because it says at the bottom, it's the 11,000 marble machine from JMR, and then their finale, Marble Mania 2021. So, okay.
I mean, again, Yellow's Marble Runs did not invent those massive marble run machines. Yellow's Marble Runs, that wasn't even a race. It was just a cool marble thing that Yellow liked to make. There's based on what I gather from this show is the marbles represent human entities, and they can enter a certain number. Because in that Sand Marble Rally race, or I guess we saw there's 3 marbles from the same person in the top 5.
Yeah, that was weird, and we'll talk about that too. A lot of weird stuff there.
Yeah, I'm assuming either they're allotted a certain number of marbles going in. I think or maybe they can basically they earn marbles for each victory or something that they get, and so they can have a certain number of marbles in the final race, which then gives them a higher chance of getting points. Maybe. I haven't seen the show. Again, hard to find it.
Yeah, you cannot find it. I looked at it and I was not able to. So
I would say that's not copying, because this is an idea, a massive mob race is something that Yellow's Marble Runs had never conceived of, and they could again So the interesting thing about this is going back to the Fubica thing that you brought up, while because they were so separated from each other, there is still always that possibility that they literally just come up with a similar idea at the same time. But because John the Mole was literally talking with them about working together. Right. It's hard to say that this giant marble run was an original idea, or wasn't inspired by someone else's channel, but instead was specifically inspired by Yellow's channel. So like that's like the biggest issue is like there's clear evidence of them being associated with one another and them John and Will knowing about their content. So it's hard to say that it wasn't that any of the things we're about to see are really like, except for the few exceptions are like original ideas or things that weren't inspired by them.
Yeah, you have a good point there. I agree with that. And my opinion on these pictures is from the pictures bare bones. I'm not gonna convict anyone here because honestly, this is such a. I don't know what's going on in these pictures really. I know Marble Machine, but like that Marble Machines probably all have a picture you could take of them that look like this. So I'm not going to condone them in that. But the fact that it's written below 11,000 Marble Machine plus Marble Mania now has this 11,000 Marble Machine as their finale. It's like, okay, well, let's think about the thought process. What did they do? They needed a finale. They're like, okay, let's do a finale. Oh, wait, Gel's channel has that Marble Run thing. Let's just do that for the finale. And they're like, okay, that's a good idea. So, I mean, no creativity. This is a finale we're talking about here. They could have come up with something more creative, and they didn't. So that I condone. That's the information you can take from these pictures. So I said pictures wrong, but like that's the information I do take from it.
This is not one of the pictures on this post as well that like you can get enough information from. The later ones do as well.
Right.
But here's the thing, and this is I looked at this on a phone, so I never actually saw these pictures because they didn't show up on my phone browser for Reddit. So I'm looking at these now, and I'm just looking at the second one now, and this is a great segue in. But I'm really these literally look like they just took marbles and plopped them on as the head of a Lego minifigure. And it's scary.
That's exactly what they did.
Oh my gosh!
Most people aren't going to like what I'm going to say here, but this picture for me is one of the few examples of the TV show actually doing something creative and different.
Yeah,
because
this is not copying at all.
It's not.
It's not copying.
Like there are other marble racing channels. There are other marble racing channels who have copied Yella's stands even more directly than this.
Yeah.
But no one has a problem with those.
I mean, pick any marble channel that is advanced enough to have a stadium. They all do it the same way. So the fact that we have the marbles on the people, while I think it's weird because in my opinion the world of marble sports is not people, it's just marbles. That's fine. I mean, they're doing something creative and different. And I actually, this is one of the pictures that I feel like doesn't best represent the argument here. Not saying that on the whole, of course, my opinions are very negative against this Dutch TV channel. Just want to make sure that's clear before I get emails that, oh my God, you said this picture wasn't copying. You're terrible. But I have to take the facts as they are. These two pictures, in my opinion, two very different ideas.
Yeah. I will say that, this is one of the very few instances of creativity, and I have to give them that, but it just looks weird. And it's from people who are used to marble sports with just marbles in a stand normally or on the field. And then you're like, wait a minute, well then why aren't the marbles where are the bodies on the actual track? And you have to think
I mean
that's the one thing.
Every marble has the body except for the computer.
I was going to say consistency you can now snap your head off to race. It's like, what?
Yeah,
there's also not a lot of variety in the marbles. Like and this is just a snapshot of one part of the stand, so I can't say how they all look like. But based on this, they all look so generic and bland and similar that it just kind of it's not very vibrant or colorful. You know?
Can somebody from the community get a VPN and just watch these videos for us and let us know? Get a VPN.
Yeah, I would love if somehow we could get a handle on these because it's hard to really make determinations.
Yeah. If we have more stuff, this would be great to talk about again.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, this will probably come up again over the course of the show, too.
Yeah.
Kind of like how the Fubica thing, we had one episode, and then I brought it up like 7 more times.
Well, because it's important.
And brought it up today. But, okay, moving on to the next picture. This picture is another one where 50% of me is like, the funnels look exactly the same.
Yeah.
Obviously. They do. They very much do. But the other 50% of me realizes that the funnel on the left is part of Gel's Marble Run's worst event that they've ever made. That's the fact that it's the bad event does not impertinent. I just want to mention that I don't like Black Hole Funnel event. But the funnel use on the right, while it first of all, it looks amazing, I have to say, it's designed very well. It's used in the middle of a track. It actually, it's not just,
right.
It's not just they're doing the black hole funnel again. No, they put a funnel in a track. And I will say, even though the funnels are the same, and you bet your freaking whatever, You bet all the money in the world that they got that freaking idea from Gel. You think they came up with that funnel on their own? No, they did not. They saw Gel's marble runs and like, that funnel looks freaking cool, and let's go get another one. That's what they did. I'm telling you 100% what they did. That's what my opinion, at least. Yeah. But at least they use it in a way where this is part of a track, which is something, first of all, JMR would never do. They would never put a funnel on the track, and which makes sense because the funnel takes all the momentum away from the marbles. So shame on the Dutch TV land for being stupid. But, I mean, or not.
I mean, I don't know. I feel like it's better
course.
to use it in a part of a track or some sort of obstacle course than to just have it on its own.
I disagree with that. We'll talk about that later, though.
I guess. I think we might have talked about that on the episode about the black hole funnel, possibly. So maybe we should listen to that before we do anything redundant. I don't know, but like I will say, like I definitely prefer the aesthetic of it. But I think it is important to remember, like the amount of money, the budget that they had to make this is most likely significantly higher than Yellow's.
Yeah, that's true. The theming is extremely good. 100%. Though.
This is either like a very a skin that they probably hired an artist to make so that they could apply to it, or even possibly it might it might actually be a custom made funnel that is just has this artwork built painted onto it.
Yeah.
I can't tell from this image, but either option, like the reason why we can't expect something from that from Yellow is because they don't have the budget to do something like that for one single event.
Yeah,
I agree, and yeah, that should be noted. Obviously, the budget for JMR is worse, and that's like a big thing for me. Their budget is lower, and Gel still makes more passionate content by far than this Dutch channel so far, at least from what I've seen. But I mean,
it adds something actually. If they this actually makes the whole fact that they took that they ruined the deal even worse. It's like that was an opportunity for them to get more money to then to add to the production of their content, which means that they could have made it look even better or on par with their stuff. But because they didn't get that deal, they now don't have that extra money.
I don't know. I feel like the Dutch TV place was stupid. That was a prime time for the Dutch TV channel to be like, okay, we're gonna take all your videos as is plus more budget that we'll give you and just put them on our TV channel. Like, why didn't they do that? I don't know. I don't know what that's for another episode. There's another episode for me dedicated to what I don't like and about the deal and where it should have gone and what I would have personally done and what JMR actually should do or not should do. And that's a different discussion. We're talking more about this Reddit post today. But I mean, really, there was an excellent opportunity for both sides there to bring Marble Sports to an extreme level, and both sides would have made a pretty penny doing it. But I mean, I don't know what was going on there. Yeah. But yeah, in this picture, I see copying in the first thought process, but it's used in a different way, so you can't completely get angry at them there.
Yeah.
Next one, I'll let James start off on this one. You see the marble there, that's Greg Woods, and then you see this commentator. Why don't you talk about that?
Yeah. All right. So from what I'm seeing, this is all right.
It's nothing.
It's nothing.
Yeah.
It's Greg in his podium from 2020, and again, I love the fact that they give Greg his own place. Can we also just say, I forgot to mention this at the beginning, Brendan got me into Marble Sports, but the reason why I stayed in Marble Sports is honestly because of Greg Woods and his personality.
Greg is awesome,
and the incredible way that he brings these marbles to life when they're literally just balls, and that is incredible. And I want to call him out for that because, man, the fact that he's been in so long for literally just something so weird as this. Back to the picture. This is a great picture of this guy's face. They could not have found a funny screenshot. It's like, what is happening? Nice headset, not great everything else. And it's literally just probably a Dutch sports announcer sitting in a booth, probably speaking like a normal sports thing, but for these marbles, but thinking in his head, what am I doing? What am I doing I'm now sure. Today?
Yeah.
This is one of my weirder gigs, 100%. I was also going to say something about the last one. I get that it's not super creative, but I do like that they had more theming than JMR. And I feel like if JMR's Black Hole Funnel had the theming of maybe not just complete white, and I get they couldn't, but if they had it, it probably would have been better. And I like that. But back to this one. This picture is another one that just doesn't show much. It's just a guy, and then it's a marble and a podium that's made of Legos.
Yeah, I don't really know what they're going for here. I don't. I personally, I mean, what are they trying to say? Both videos have commentary, and that's a problem.
I think they were just taking I don't think they're trying to make a point. I think they're just taking a picture just so they can say, here is your source, just if you want to look at the comparison of how commentary worked. That's it.
I guess so.
This is what they showed. Yeah. They didn't deep fake
Sure.
a Marble's face onto the guy and then just had him walk around and made him look like the people in the audience. And again, I would love to have someone make a
That would be
lore
funny,
from Marble
yeah.
Mania about why some marbles have bodies and why some don't. And it's like, hey, you don't have bodies? We feel bad for you. Come participate in this televised competition. That would be funny.
No, yeah.
Hold on, is that... Okay, sorry, I thought Marble Face was in the next picture. It just looked like it because it was a yellow face on a marble. And I was like, what is happening?
Where?
It's a yellow face on a marble in this next one above the guy's head. And
you mean, are you referring to Cool Mooney? Not Marble face is not yellow.
I forgot what the guy's name is with the actual face.
I see the picture. I somehow didn't see that. I was oh yeah, I see that.
Who's the
they
emoji
put the
guy?
little faces in the
Who is
marbles.
the emoji guy?
That's cool.
I forgot his name.
They're all emojis.
But the one, because not all. There's one.
Oh shoot! I didn't notice that the marbles are on pucks for curling.
Oh my goodness!
Or are they just pucks? I can't really tell.
Wait a minute. Yeah, no,
Those are
not marbles. I don't think, unless the marbles are inside of the
they're
pucks.
They're marbles and pucks. I zoomed in. It looks like they're marbles in the pucks, but I'm not 100% sure.
Huh.
But that's the next one we're talking about. Wof, I'll let you start out on that one. What do you think about that?
Okay, so again, like they probably got the idea to have a curling event because of yellow, but like this is like there's literally no other way they could have done it because this is what curling looks like.
Yeah.
They had literally no other option. There was no other way to design this, and they did something unique. They gave them they made them on actual curling or something similar to a curling puck. So there's more uniqueness to the design. So while they again. Did they get the idea from Yella? Probably, but like there is literally no other way to design the event, so you can't really fault them from that aspect.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm 50-50 on this one as well. Part of me is like, okay, come on, you couldn't even come up with different colors for the rings. I mean, come on. I mean, honestly, really, like you couldn't do that with your millions of dollars TV channel. You couldn't have made it like maybe a yellow and a green ring or something like that.
I think blue and red is like the standard for curling, though, and I think they were trying to stay standard.
Yeah,
with
it is.
And it's like,
okay, maybe, sure.
They were both following the
whatever.
standard,
But
so I guess they were both copying, but it's a sport. If you're going to do a sport with something, yeah.
50% of me realizes that they're a little more creative with the pucks, with the marbles and the pucks, and they did it a little different. But the other 50% realizes that, I mean, how did they come up with this? They saw JMR's channel, they saw curling, they're like, let's do that. That's obviously what happened.
Yeah.
Because I mean, I don't know, they didn't come up with this on their own. They just tried to make it a little different, and part of me credits them for making it a little different, but the other part of me is upset that they didn't try to just come up with some different event that nobody ever heard of before. Maybe like just take this curling thing and come up with your completely new rule set to go along with a completely new event that you come up with and you put as your own idea. And that's really what I think they should have done, even though they did not do that. Because I don't know, because it does look. I mean, look at this. I mean, the pictures look like they're almost from the same place. So I mean, there's something to be said about that.
Yeah, the arena's the same rectangle. It does look exactly the same, and it feels like another situation of this John DeMille guy just taking other people's ideas and slapping them on TV and making money for it. Yay! Good job. You did a good thing.
One thing I'm seeing here is like I don't think it's the track is slanted for the Marble Mania. So like, I'm wondering like I think I've seen some shots where like the humans who are playing are actually like launching the marbles. Like did they actually were the humans like sliding these marbles across?
I mean, if they're pucks, probably.
Because it doesn't seem like it's inclined enough to actually allow that. Maybe there's an incline at the beginning, but again, this is just the one shot we can see, and from what I think based on the few shots I've seen on YouTube, like for like a few weeks, like maybe about a week ago, I think I did see someone like throwing a marble or something down a track. So like I think there is some human interaction that is going on in the show beyond just like them representing a human, but like them actually competing to a certain degree.
And that's going to be weird. Like, that is something that we're 100% not used to. I mean, JMR strives extremely to have as little human interaction as possible. The human interaction is why the controversy started with Fubica. But yeah, them taking a completely different route, if this is true, and having, like, actual humans. Maybe having these people coaches that we were talking about a few episodes ago, about, like, JMR should have, like, actual people coaches on their teams helping make decisions.
They should.
This is like, yeah, Brendan was talking about that. This may be that. Oh, this guy just literally, this guy is probably just a celebrity from the Netherlands that just is standing over. It's like, oh, who's going to get to the center? He's the hype man.
Yeah, it's true, that the publicity aspect of it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I agree. I feel like I mean, we only have the picture, so we don't actually know what's happening, but I feel like there's a lot of possible good ideas that are going on here. But it's just like,
possible.
I would respect it more if we had all these good ideas, but you didn't make the curling thing look exactly the same, and you didn't have exactly the same rule set. I feel like they could have been a lot more creative, and the fact that because it's already negative at the top. we have to not forget that we're already in a negative look at this at the top because of the way the TV producer dealt with the JMR channel and the contract that he gave and then rescinded and then gave a new one and just the way he acted there already puts a negative light in everything I see here.
Right.
This is a whole story. There's like
a
backstory and then like the main story, and we're still in it. But like, there's always the backstory you got to go back and look at in this situation.
Yeah, and it's just throwing more bad things in the pile when I just see that like the curling thing looks exactly the same and they couldn't have not tried something a little different. I know they have the pucks, whatever. But I mean, I feel like they could have gone a little bit more different, and they didn't. But I mean, again, we only have these pictures.
Yeah.
And from the next one here with the Marble One track, I mean, it looks exactly the same.
The only difference
honestly.
is the grass and trees. That is literally it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's my point for this and like the last two here is basically the exactly what I said before. Yes, they definitely taught the idea from them because that's where they were associated with. But like again, like this style of racetrack is something that has been around for decades in real life racetracks. So it's not something that Yella owns. So legally they can do this. It's just that it's clearly not their original idea.
But then again, neither of them were the original idea. This is once again copied off of Formula One by JMR, and then copied off of JMR by this SBS6 company.
But Formula One doesn't use marble drome tracks.
Are those cows?
I mean, you know what I'm saying? I mean. Yeah, they look like cows. Yeah, let's look on the picture.
They look like cows from like a train track set that you would have.
Yeah, they are.
They look like.
I will say I like how
stuff.
seamless these tracks are. I do like that. There's no obvious because the marble drone tracks for whatever reason have like a bunch of grooves on them. I don't know why Corsetti designed them that way, but they say they put glued I think thin cardboard or construction paper or something on top of it to make it, and you can see the seams on the track. It's not too bad. And there's no other option because again, they don't sell marble drone tracks that are smooth, but these I definitely say I do again. But they have a higher budget. For all we know, these were probably custom made for this.
Yeah. And again, all these pictures are just 50-50 situations, no matter how you take it. There's positives and negatives with this. They copied, but it's also original, and it's a weird way to look at it. There is, however, something creative in this that I'm noticing that I think is cool, and that is the double layer track situation. I don't feel like I've ever seen that in JMR.
They have it, but not often.
It's really
because it makes it hard for the camera to see all angles all the time.
And I guess maybe that's again 50-50 creativity, but also camera's not going to see the marbles.
Yeah.
There's always two sides to the
coin. We might need to take another episode to talk about what I don't like about the 2-minute video at the top of the Reddit post. And there's a lot of camera work that's not very good. They're unlike JMR, they don't have that real-time placement update, so you don't really know what's going on. It's hard to see the marbles. It's hard to know who is in the lead and who's not. So it's very badly done in that aspect. But especially with the production value that the Dutch TV program should be able to come out with. But that's for another time. I mean, let's just cover these last two pictures quickly. Pretty much the same deal here. On the one hand, yes, they look very similar. On the other hand, is there really another way to dig a track out of sand or snow to make this? Yeah. But you could then say, well, I mean, Marble Mania and because the whole of Marble Mania has marble drome track, it has sand rally, it has snow rally, it has curling, it has all these things that are all JMR. Did Marble Mania do anything, come up with any event that is not seen on JMR? Because when you take it as a whole, then I have a very negative outlook. Because if I look through this, it just seems like every single event they do, while they might put a little twist on it with the pucks, or they might put a little change on it, putting the funnel in the marble drome track thingy, and they might put a little, their own spin on it when it comes to putting the trees out there in the snow instead of not. I mean, it still seems like they're just making a different version of every event you already see on JMR. I mean, they couldn't have come up with any new events with new rules and new styles. I mean, I could come up with 7 right now.
Yeah.
And I'm just sitting here.
Again,
I could come up with 7 new things that JMR has never done.
You guys were talking about this
all right?
lot. You guys just think of creative ideas out of nowhere, and then Brendan's like, listen to Wof. He's a genius. JMR, use this stuff. And these ideas are simple, but again, this is a situation of the guy not thinking about things and using ideas from other people.
Yeah.
And the first contract was just basically, we want to put this on TV, but we are going to completely copy your ideas, and you have to be okay with that. And it's like, no, because they changed it. So it was like, okay, we're still going to copy your ideas, but not really, and you don't have a say. And that's just sad.
For me, in the general sense, it's close to a complete copy. In the general sense, they took pretty much everything JMR's done and put their own skin on it, you know?
And syndicated it.
But kind of how like Fortnite versus like Warzone. They're two battle royale games. They're the same thing, but they're completely different in how they work. So I mean, Fortnite and Warzone are actually really far apart. So Fortnite and more like Fortnite and like, I don't know, pick something else.
PUBG.
That like
Fortnite and
or like
PUBG
more
was a thing
Apex
for a
and
bit.
PUBG.
Yeah.
Because they're like really similar, but they're different skins. So people like prefer one or the other. It's kind of the same thing. Except this is not a video game thing. This is something creative that a single channel has made up. And so this TV channel, what they did is they took all the general ideas and were like, okay, we're gonna do snow rally, we're gonna do sand rally, we're gonna do marble drum track, we're gonna throw that funnel in there somewhere just because why not? We're gonna put the marbles in the stands. But what we are gonna do is we'll take a couple seconds just to make it look a little different, just to make it play a little different, so that it seems a slightly bit different from JMR. Instead of actually sitting down and coming up with 10 new events that JMR, of which maybe at least 5 JMR has never even done before, that we can put on our channel and actually say, okay, yeah, we're not copying, we're making our own Marble Sports. Because I want to say, if they did that, if they came up with events never seen before in JMR, or if they really took curling and made it a completely different event with a completely different rule set, with no aesthetic similarity, then I would sit here and say that everybody in JMR needs to calm down, because they come up with a completely different version of Marble Sports. You can't steal the idea to do Marble Sports. You can steal the idea for what events you're going to make.
Yep.
And I think the reason why, again, for like why they just did only things that have been done before is again the money thing, because like time is money, and like, but
Right.
they'd also so like the time spent trying to figure out a brand new event is just time and money wasted, and it probably would have cost them more for whoever they paid to do the creative design decisions, like the funnel and stuff to make them come up with new events too. So like it saves them a lot of time and money in the end to just do something, to just take what's already established. And I get there's just more evidence of that they were clearly influenced and driven by pretty much just only money.
Yep.
At least John DeMol. I think it's something important to mention. The people working on the show could very well be very great people who are very passionate about this stuff
Very
too.
great.
But it's not their decision how things go. They are paid to do a specific thing, and
Yeah.
they need that money to put food on the table. So like, this is really only a criticism of John DeMol and like whoever else made the decisions to do what they did. Right. I'm not criticizing the actual people who built these tracks and designed the stuff and because there's clearly some passion. There is some level of passion and creativity put in here. It's just that it's clearly not from the business perspective.
Yeah. That's a great point to clear up, that it's just the guy. It's just that one guy. And this whole thing was basically off of money. This is just another thing being put on TV. I just forgot what I was going to say. Oh, jeez. Keep going.
Sorry
Okay,
if I made you
anyway,
thought.
we're moving towards 55 minutes here in the bulk of the episode, and so we're probably going to put trivia off till a different episode and just get through the emails that I was sent in this week. Again, also Richard's rankings of every Marble Olympics team, total every point they've ever earned from worst to best. We will also do those next week as well, because that's something I want to spend time on and enjoy as well. So those will be put off. So we'll read today's emails and then end the episode. But just to really sum this up the best way I can, to make sure you understand exactly what I feel. In the full of it, if you start from the contract and the actions that were done there, that's a negative for me. If you continue on to talk about the general structure of Marble Mania, there's a lot of things I first of all don't like and I think are badly done, and there's a ton of things. The general ideas were all taken from JMR, at least from what we've seen. It seems like there's no unique events, and so I'm going to condemn them for that. For the basic ideas, no shown creativity. But when you show me the nitty-gritty pictures, it seems like they did at least do something to take it and turn instead of just completely copy JMR, put a little different aesthetic feel to it. So aesthetically, they were a little different than JMR, and they have a bigger budget, so of course they could be more creative with that stuff. But in the general idea, which is more important in the end, in my opinion, there is most of it seems to be a direct derivation from the ideas from JMR. So that's going to be the final opinion on that. I'm sure we'll bring this up again over time, and people might email in to talk about it. But let's jump into today's emails. We got about 15 minutes at tops left. Here we go. So here we go. We got Alex writing in again. He's a weekly writer. Thank you, Alex, for always writing in. He says, it's almost swimming time again. Pain. He doesn't like swimming. Today I'm asking you what to do with my YouTube channel. My dilemma here is my fans don't seem to watch my videos anymore, and it's just a group of 40 or so people who keep watching. Now, this is a problem number one. The viewers don't come back for certain stuff. If you look at the awesome YouTube channel called GD Marble, thank you, that's mine. It has a similar amount of subs, but gets 100 views per video. Number two, okay, number one. So this is a problem. You're not getting people to come back. YouTube is unforgiving.
Yeah.
And just the fact you might make something amazing, but if you have camera quality that's under what it should be, then that's just going to affect the whole thing. You know what I'm saying? So like it's kind of like especially in marble sports where it's hard to really come up with something so creative that even though you don't have the production value of JMR, you're able to keep all that attention. It's hard. So I honestly it's hard for me to give you advice because directly in marble sports, I don't make marble sports. I only talk about people who do. So it's hard for me to say, okay, you should be doing this. But it's always about really finding a creative idea. You know, you really want to sit and think, okay, I'm doing this marble sports, but what can I do where I can really make it much different? And then on the other side of the coin, you have to, if you really want to dedicate yourself to YouTube, you do have to make the decision, okay, I'm going to go out and buy 1080p 60 FPS cameras so it looks better when I'm doing it. I'm going to spend the time to make sure everything's positioned well and edited well so it looks a lot better every single episode. So that stuff's important too. So the production quality is always important, and then also the ideas you come up with. So those are things to keep in mind. That makes YouTube very unforgiving and tough to succeed at. But I mean, everything, it's hard to become big on YouTube. It really is.
I have some advice to give, but it kind of covers both at this point. So I'll wait till we read his whole email before I say anything.
Okay. All right. Number two, do I make these for fun? I get discouraged when some videos don't do well. My videos like animations take 3 to 4 days, yet my marble races take a few hours and get more views. I enjoy making history videos more, but I have kind of built the name for myself with marbles, and I need to know what to do. I also would like to give a quick shout out to a YouTube channel called Lukion, pronounced Lukion, Twin Broadcasting. Strange name, I know, but he makes some good content and is underrated. All right, go check out Lukion. That's Lukeon. I recommend checking it out. You might be surprised. I have not checked it out yet.
Yeah, so my advice is YouTube is a very hard, getting started on YouTube nowadays is extremely difficult because there's already established niches and channels who do things, and so it's hard to really get noticed. You really need that big break. There are a lot of successful YouTubers who also complain about the fact hey, sometimes I'll put several hours, several days, and sometimes even weeks into a video, and then I'll make a random video that took me barely any time at all, and it gets more views. That's just how the internet and YouTube works. Yeah. Unfortunately, effort does not equate to success. My incredibly small YouTube channel, I've spent some of my videos, and the one I'm going to be making soon has several days worth of work into it. But I'm pretty sure that it's not going to get the same amount of attention as some random person just posts a random 5-second meme. Or heck, an even better example, I've mentioned this long ago, but there's an animator called Sky the Star Hero who he doesn't upload very often, but because he spends a lot of time making 30-minute plus animations for this massive story and stuff. But he's got barely any subscribers compared to some of the other animators who don't have any sort of story, who just in my opinion can't really compare, especially back at the time when they first were being uploaded. But because he doesn't upload regularly, they're long videos, and the community of sprite animation has kind of died down a bit. YouTube doesn't push his content. It's and so for you, Alex, I would just say you should definitely, according to number two, referring to number 2, definitely do what you enjoy, because that's the only way you're going to have the energy and motivation to keep making stuff. If you're doing something just for the sake, you are pretty young, you do not, so you're not doing this for money to make a living. So you can afford to just do what's fun, and the more dedication you show, eventually you will. Someday you will get a point where a lot of viewers are coming in. You'll finally have an established viewer base, and and eventually you'll be able to do what you love and actually be fairly successful. It's just it takes a long time, and it does take, unfortunately, a certain level of luck.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you're doing anything YouTube wise and you're a small channel because you just think you're gonna eventually get big and make money, then stop doing it right now. That's why I kind of stopped the algorithm thing, because I was like, okay, the algorithm thing might make me a much bigger channel, but I didn't really love doing that. I liked it; it was okay, but I didn't love it, and it took me a lot of time.
100%.
So that's why you really just the channel I spend a lot of time on, that would be besides. I mean, I do the podcast, but that's just one time a week. I spend a lot of time on my GD channel because even if I don't get huge, I love playing Geometry Dash. I love the game. I love the community for the most part. So I enjoy the game, and so you have to decide, and then eventually, if you continue to be creative and up your production value, eventually get to the point where people probably will notice you. But yes, you need to make sure that production value continues to increase. If you do YouTube forever and put all your passion into it, but your videos are always 480p, then you're not going to get the attention ever that you think you should get, because, well, the quality is important. So be aware of that. Yes, not always the things that take you more time to make are the things that are going to get the most views. Some of my most viewed videos on my channel took me a lot less time than some of my least viewed videos on my channel. So be aware of that. But yeah, that is that. But yeah, I mean, obviously I'd love to talk YouTube more, but we have other emails to read. So Alex writes in again. He says, so my mom's very sick. Well, I hope she gets better. And we can't go swimming. A small price to pay for salvation. Okay, well, as long as your mom gets better,
yes,
and she's all good, and she's just sick with a cold, then yes, it's all great. But hopefully she's not anything more serious than that. Okay.
Steve from
Latvia. Thanks, Wof. Steve from Latvia writes in, Marble Mania drama, my opinion, or should I say rant?
Relevant email, yay!
Yep.
Relevant much. Okay.
Excited for this.
All right, here we go. So hey guys, this is Steve from Latvia, he says. So here is my opinion about the whole Marble Mania drama. This is absolutely disgusting. Okay. The fact that this scumbag has gotten away with this and hasn't been called out yet for his actions is shocking. The way he backstabbed the gel and Dion is nothing but disgusting. I was willing to give the show a watch. I honestly was, despite the language barrier. But after reading what happened, I can't find myself being okay to watch this. I can't enjoy something if I know that the person behind it stole the idea and is claiming it as his own original. Similarities are there, and they are shockingly obvious. You think he tried to be side about and do his best for his show to look like JMR, but no. It's as if he wants to be caught and called out for stealing the format. What worries me the most is that the people who have seen the TV show will find JMR on YouTube and think that is something I don't want to happen to. I understand. Yeah.
Oh gosh.
Yeah, I think they stole the idea, leading them to leaving angry comments under the JMR videos. This guy is nothing but a scumbag, and he deserves no support from the JMR fan base. I can give you an agreement on that. I say we boycott the show and don't even acknowledge its existence.
All right.
Well, I agree with that. I can't acknowledge its existence because I personally can't even get access to it, so I couldn't even say if I wanted to or not. I think that legally, unfortunately, there's nothing you can really do about this because they didn't copy anything exactly, but it's very obvious they just put a spin on all of JMR's ideas instead of coming up with something new.
Mm-hmm.
Spin, because Marble spin. Sorry, guys, I'm away from the mic. I got to pick up this thing I just dropped.
What a great Marble pun.
It is what it is.
Yeah.
Moving on with the emails. All right, a couple more here, guys.
Oh, we got a few, yeah.
Oh, no, I'm not going to read Richard's because it's about Marble rankings notes, and we're doing that next week.
Yes.
So just one more. About the situation around the TV program, written to us by EduG.J. He listens to our show live a lot, so thank you, Edu, for writing in. And please write in, mswpodcast@gmail.com. I say it every week, and I want you guys to write in and just say anything, even if it's like a one-liner email. Trust me, we always love the fan engagement.
We could talk about that one line for probably 5 minutes if it was enough.
Yeah, if it was substantial, yes.
We like talking.
The content. This is a do. The content. I can't give a precise opinion because I don't live in the Netherlands to watch it properly. I agree with that. That's why I couldn't give a full opinion. I could only give what I think might be the case. This, based on the 2 small clips I saw on the internet, the scenario is very well done. But with all the extra budget, they must develop a nice-looking product. They do, yeah. Everything else is just so bland. There's no character in the teams. Agreed. The spectators in the stands are bland. Yeah, I agree. I would choose an 8-year-old's homemade tournament over this. Well, I wouldn't go that far.
I don't think we go that far.
I agree. They didn't build a nice world around marble sports. They just kind of threw marbles on a track with a commentator.
Yeah.
Those are 2 different things.
But from his point of view, the 8-year-old's marble tournament has passion put into it, so you might feel better about watching that in that situation.
I suppose so.
And so I can see his point of view for that.
You might have a point, yeah. What I think about this all. This is different from any disagreements that happened before. Not just because it's a TV station entering the segment, but also because it seems like a big boy taking the concept just to profit on it. Absolutely, I agree with that. Mm-hmm. Missing the soul and the care that allowed marble sports to take off. I agree. Yeah. That's why this won't last. Because JMR actually puts time and care into what they do and really goes to be unique, and this is not. This kind of stuff happens when something is popular but doesn't mean it's okay. I agree. Especially when you already have a deal with the guys who do it for so long to co-develop the show, to just throw it away and take all the money and credits that come with it. According to what came out in Dutch media, yes, it's very shady. And like I said, that's exactly going to be the downfall of this because they went for the money and now it will fail soon instead of failing maybe never. JMR behavior in relation to the subject. They aren't interested in throwing more fuel on the fire, and I can imagine why. The channel is focusing on the positive aspects of sports, I'm assuming marble sports, and provide relief to the fans, steering away from controversial topics. Yes, they do that. Mm-hmm. The rival is too big to be worth a fight against them. Would be too stressful to endure such a situation. Yeah, I figure JMR at this point to just go back to doing what they do. Trust me, the 1.5 million subs is a lot, and they don't need to be worried. You know, and most of their viewers aren't even from Dutch world anyway. So I mean, what's the problem?
Dutch world.
Yeah, whatever. I mean,
petition to rename Netherlands Dutch world.
It's no big deal. Yeah, so like you know what I'm saying? Like I mean, most viewers are American or whatever. So Chinese has like 100 million. So I mean, 100,000. Sorry. So I mean, like it's. Like, I wouldn't get so worked up over this, like this is going to ruin JMR. No, this is, in my opinion, like I talked about before, this is in the long run going to bring more attention to JMR, even if this fails. Mm-hmm. So thank you for writing in. Those were all very sound points. But that will bring us to the end of our emails for today. Again, email us in. We love that. And we will cover the marbles rankings from Richard next week and more trivia. We didn't do that today. I'm sorry.
This is the time, man.
James, we appreciate you coming on. I really, you were a good person to have on. You had some insightful things to say.
Yes, thank you for joining us.
Absolutely. This was great. I got to come on again. Because
we will have
again, the Monday time, no. The Saturday time, much better. And I'm so pleased that we're staying on this because that means I can come and watch the show more and be active in the community more. And I know we have more to say on this, so it's going to be fun. I also need to write down these trivia questions because we didn't do them this week. So,
yeah, you'll have them for a different episode, I'm sure. So, yeah, again, thank you for coming on. And Wof, you can take us out, and we'll see you guys next week with some more Marble things like usual.
All right. Roll on, Marble sports fans.
Hello, Editor Casen here. Just to let you all know, there will be no podcast airing next week. There will be no episode recorded. So, just to let you all know, just a quick week's drought, quick break for everyone on the team. So, just so that you are all aware, thank you for listening, and we'll be back in 2 weeks. See you then.